Alright, good morning friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Sizwe. I'm a personal trainer from Midrand, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys one of my leg day routines that I've been following for quite some time now, quite a couple of months. Now this year I've actually seen a lot of progress in my legs, not just in terms of strength but in also in terms of size, and I think the reason for that is because I've been following a structured plan. Before, what I would do is just walk into the gym, train, freestyle, do whatever I want, still train hard, but I wasn't really tracking what I was doing with the weights, the reps, the sets. I wasn't tracking, so I didn't know whether I was progressing or I was regressing. But this year I have definitely progressed in terms of just strength and size, and I think I put that down to me just following a structured plan. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys one of the routines. It's not going to be a conventional bodybuilding routine though. There's going to be some bodybuilding lifts, but I also want to show you guys some functional movements that I like to add to this routine. And yeah, the gym is quite loud, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put clips of me training and then have an A-roll of a voiceover just explaining what to do and what to look out for, etc, etc. I hope you guys enjoy this workout. First exercise I'm doing here is the front squat. So the key to this exercise is to keep your core braced and to also control the tempo. You'll notice when I'm going down, I'm using a 2 to 3 second tempo, and then when I come up, I am coming up, exploding up, but also under control. Unlike the conventional back squat, the front squat works directly on your quads and your core, so it doesn't hit your hamstrings, your glutes, and your lower back. A lot of people complain about lower back pain when they squat, me included in that. So a great way to remove the pain that you would normally feel on your lower back is to shift into the front squat. Of course, that means using lower weight because like I said, the impact and the load is directly on your quads, so therefore you're not going to move as much weight. But then as long as you're using the correct tempo, this exercise is a great exercise to build your quads. Second exercise of the day was the hack squat. My gym does not have a hack squat machine, so I did these on the Smith machine. You'll notice how much in front my lower body is to my upper body. This is to allow more range of motion, especially at the bottom of the movement. Notice how low I'm getting. My bum is almost touching my ankles, and that's just to put more emphasis on the bottom part of my quad. Most gyms that I've been to do not have a hack squat machine, so this is a great substitution. However, if you are not comfortable with this exercise, then I would recommend trying out the goblet squat, because this is a great alternative. It will still work your quads and remove any pressure that you may feel on your lower back. The first thing I want to mention on the leg press machine is my foot placement. Because I was working my quads, I positioned my feet at the bottom of the platform rather than at the top of the platform. So if I wanted to work the glutes and the hamstrings, I would have moved my feet a little bit higher, and that would have put more emphasis on the hamstrings and not on the quads, but that wasn't the goal for today. Now, the potential to lift with your ego when doing the leg press machine is very high. I have done this before where I put on too much weight and I lift with my entire body using my glutes and my hamstrings and also my lower back rather than just using my quads. So what you want to do here is to put enough weight that's going to stress your quads, but not too much to the point where you're not isolating your quadriceps. So here, as you can see, I didn't put on too much weight. What I emphasize though is the tempo. So coming down, I tried to stick to a 2 to 3 second count and then exploding up, breathing in when I come down and then breathing out when I go up. So that's the key to this exercise, controlling the movement as much as possible, trying to isolate the quads and not use too much of my lower back, my glutes and my hamstrings. The final exercise for the quads was the leg extension. Now this is a great isolation movement. In my opinion, you should always have an isolation exercise, either at the start of your routine or at the end of your routine. Two key things that I want to point out here. First is how I'm sitting. It's very easy to use momentum when you're doing this exercise. So what I like to do is grip the handles as hard as I possibly can and make sure that my bum does not move off the seat. Also, notice my toes. They are always pointing up at the top of the movement. I have found that this works the upper portion of my quads very well, so it gives out that detail at the top. Always remember to squeeze as hard as you can at the top of the motion, as hard as you can for each and every rep. The first hamstring exercise was the leg curl. Now one thing that you will notice when doing the leg curls is how your hips will come up from the seats when you are lifting the weight. I wouldn't worry too much about this because it is inevitable that this will happen the more fatigued you are. What you should be wary of though is your knee position. You want your knees to be positioned at the end of the cushion, so you don't want them to be on top of the cushion but right at the end of the cushion. Also, you want to have the roll above your ankles. You don't want to be pushing with your heel. You want it just above your heels and just above your ankles. So making sure that you have your body correctly positioned makes a massive difference in this exercise. So be sure to check that you are correctly positioned before you start. Final exercise is the stiff leg deadlift. Unlike the regular deadlift, for this exercise you want to keep your knees straight throughout the motion. One thing I notice people doing is bending their knees when they're bringing the weight down. But by doing this, you remove the tension from your hamstrings and onto your glutes and also your lower back. So when you lower the weight, keep your knees straight. As soon as you feel like your knees will bend or you feel pressure on your lower back, that's an indication to come back up because the load is moving away from your hamstrings and onto your glutes and lower back. As usual, keep the tempo at 2 to 3 seconds on your way down and then explode when you come up.